Children of changes, feather on the bone, arc of eternity, ring around the stone. We are the old people, we are the new people, we are the same people, wiser than before. Children of changes, feather on the bone, arc of eternity, ring around the stone. We are the old people, we are the new people, we are the same people, wiser than before. Cauldron of changes, feather on the bone, arc of eternity, ring around the stone. We are the old people, we are the new people, we are the same people, wiser than before. Cauldron of changes, feather on the bone, arc of eternity, ring around the stone. We are the old people, we are the new people, we are the same people, wiser than before. Cauldron of changes, feather on the bone, arc of eternity, ring around the stone. We are the old people, we are the new people, we are the same people, wiser than before. Cauldron of changes, feather on the bone, arc of eternity, ring around the stone. We are the old people, we are the new people, we are the same people, wiser than before. Cauldron of changes, feather on the bone, arc of eternity, ring around the stone. We are the old people, we are the new people, we are the same people, wiser than before. Cauldron of changes, feather on the bone, arc of eternity, ring around the stone. We are the old people, we are the new people, we are the same people, wiser than before. Cauldron of changes, feather on the bone, arc of eternity, ring around the stone. We are the old people, we are the new people, we are the same people, wiser than before. Cauldron of changes, feather on the bone, arc of eternity, ring around the stone. We are the old people, we are the new people, we are the same people, wiser than before. We are the same people, wiser than before.
All of my life I have seen many offerings to the gods and all the wonder that they hold, but how many people really can hear the pipes of Pan as they sound across our sacred land of old? I can see a cloven hoof falling on the bare skin of the earth. I can see life returning, feel the triple one's rebirth. Golden light dapples across the woodland as the piper dances and plays his tune, and the hunter horned one, spirit of man, to the moon. All of my life I have seen many offerings to the gods and all the wonder that they hold, but how many people really can hear the pipes of Pan as they sound across our sacred land of old?
Good morning. Happy Sunday to you all, and blessed Samhain. Monday, for us here in North Texas, Monday is Samhain's Eve. Tuesday will be Samhain. Millions of people the world over will be celebrating Halloween that day on the Monday night. Children and adults will be mucking about, dressed up in their Halloween costumes, ghosts and goblins and what have you. Oh, they'll be knocking on the door, going, Halloween, trick or treat, you treat me or I trick you. Well, that's kind of what Halloween has come to mean, isn't it? Although those of you who have been in the pagan philosophy for many years, or a few years, or hopefully just a couple of months, you know that the true meaning of Samhain. It is spelled Samhain. The actual pronunciation is Samhain. Now, when I first started studying in the pagan philosophy, however many years ago that was, almost 20 plus now, I like to never figured out how to spell Samhain. But of course, the internet 20 years ago wasn't what it is today. As many of you know, I like to Google my topic to see what changes have been made or what's going on with the discussion of the topic that we may be having, irregardless of what the topic is. And I Googled this morning. I Googled Samhain and Halloween. And I did put some light reading down in the chat in case you guys want to click on it later and go read it. But what I'd like to do, you can Google the topic and find out where Samhain came from, when Samhain went from the term Samhain to Halloween. You can find out the society accepted definition for Samhain. And I found some really interesting reading in the links that I placed in the chat. I'll let y'all check that out. I would like to hear from you what Samhain is for you. I know for me, it's the thinning of the veil. It's the time of the year where the old is kind of crumbling away, and the crisp new year of the pagan new year is coming into play. I it well, Samhain is one of the few days that I actually request off of my job. They look at me a little strange with one eyebrow raised, and I explain to them, "Hey, it's one of our Sabbaths. Be glad I don't take all 8 stroke 9 of them off. But I do take Samhain and Yule off. Um, but Samhain to me is, like I say, the thinning of the veils, the beginning of the new year, the starting of a new, so to speak. It's when the mother has gone and is going into a slumber. Father Winter is taking over. Things are chilling out a bit. The planet in certain areas, at least in our area, is cooling off from usually what you've heard the dog days of summer. And here in North Texas, it does get a tad bit hot. Um, it's nothing for us to have um, 10, 15, 20 days of above 100-degree temperatures here in north central Texas. Yeah, well, North Texas. I grew up down in south central Texas between Houston and Beaumont. Got pretty hot. Most of the time it was humid, so the heat was relatively easy to deal with because it was more moist. Wasn't quite the dry, burning, melting heat. Anyway, I digress. But as we move in to Samhain's Eve, it is also not only the thinning of the veils, not only the pagan New Year, but for some reason, some people, and they haven't figured out how or why, either it's the positioning of the earth, the changing of the tilt ever so slightly, which forms the seasons to begin with, but scientifically speaking, they have never actually figured out what happens to the human chemistry on Samhain. December 30th and December 31st is Samhain's Eve and Samhain. Between 12 a.m. on October, damn, I said December, I'm sorry. Between 12 a.m. October 30th and 12 a.m. on November 1st, in amongst that time span, people tend to become elatedly mischievous. Now, Halloween has been given, over the last 50 to 75 years plus, Halloween has really been given a bad name by many of the Christian sects, right? And they feel that it has to do. I heard a Christian tell me one time Halloween was the devil's birthday. No, it's not. Pagans don't even believe in the devil for the millionth time. We don't believe actually in hell. We don't believe in the devil. Pagans are not out to cause mischief. Yes, we drum. Yes, we dance our circle. Yes, we have certain great rites that are performed in some Halloween circles. Hence, Halloween skyclad. And if you want to know what skyclad is, if you don't know, Google it. Right. Well, onward. So as the Halloween monster kicks in, there are some societies that refuse to celebrate Halloween because of their self imposed social stigma on it. Halloween itself is, by most, a celebration of the thinning of the veils in the pagan New Year. And like most things that people don't understand, they demonize it. They make it bad. They make it of the devil, so to speak. I can go through and I can play videos and I can um, read many websites where people have so demonized Halloween that they keep their children indoors, locked. They keep all of the lights off in the house because they are afraid of the little children, the little ghosts and the goblins that'll come knocking at the door going trick or treat. Oh, get over it. Give the kids some chocolate already, will you? It is, at the core, a pagan Sabbath just like any other pagan Sabbath. You know, Yule, Beltane, Mabon, Samhain, and the rest of them. As I get older, I find my brain twisting slightly trying to remember the Sabbaths. I have my wonderful, trusty digital device here that reminds me of the upcoming Sabbaths. Yeah. The spiritual aspect of Samhain is very strong for me and my family here. We like to take my daughter trick or treating when she wants to go. She's 12 this year, so I don't know if she's still going to want to go or not. But if she does, we'll dress her up in whatever little costume she wants to dress up in. Me, I will, if we go out, I will probably put my ritual robe on, my hat or my tam and what have you. So when it comes down to it, Samhain is a very blessed day for my household. As well, I hope it is for you and your household. There really isn't a whole great lot that I could go on about Samhain. I can talk about the history of Samhain, but you can read that on the internet. I do recommend, however, and I do want to make sure that I put this out there to you all, right? When you're reading history and you're reading what something is on the internet, don't just choose one or two or three sites. Get up about 10 or 12 tabs and go through and read the first 4 or 5 paragraphs of each tab. Because what this is going to do is this is going to educate you on the different perceptions of the different writers of these websites and what their perception is of Samhain and Halloween. I found a real good passage that I read. It's on newgrange.com. It is in the links that I provided. And the center paragraph says the family's ancestors were honored and invited home whilst harmful spirits were warded off. People wore costumes and masked to disguise themselves as harmful spirits and thus avoid harm. bonfires and food played a large part in the festivities. And it goes on to read, of the different things that the Celts did during the period of time, the different circles that they would make. You saw a lot of um, circular shapes carved into the landscape during Samhain. A lot of families would invite their ancestors, their loved ones, like it says, to join the festivities. It's like, it's the thinning of the veil. The thinning of the veil means that the land of the dead and the land of the living, the veil is really thin, where you can meditate or you can dream and you can go to altar and light your candle for communication with your ancestors or newly ones past. Again, remember the respect of the dead, if you will. Some of the dead may have passed on and gone on to be reincarnated into other aspects. There, so remember when you're calling on the dead, be aware of what you're calling. For those of you that are just now looking into the pagan philosophy and wanting to know a little more about it, we typically always say, as it always goes, be careful what you ask for because you just might get it. So I always remind people to be aware when you're lighting that candle and you're calling for a loved one to come forward. I recommend that you call on the essence of the loved one to come forward for communication. I don't ever recommend that you ask for the whole of the loved one to come back to you because you quite really actually never know what's liable to come through the portal. Something to remember. Wow. Like I say, Samhain is a very short topic. It has a meaning, it has an action, it's a celebration. But we're going to have a very short-winded church this morning. I'm going to probably end it off in about 15 minutes. I want to talk to you a little bit about Halloween, Samhain safety. Yeah, I'm going to throw it out there. Pagans are very protective of our families and the children. The children love to run amok on Samhain. They like to get out and do mischievous things in their costumes because people typically can't look at them and just tell who they are. So they want to get out and they want to do mischievous things, wrap houses, turn trash cans upside down. There were reports one year down in Houston of a bunch of young adults, teenagers, running amok in Houston in their costumes, slitting people's tires, throwing eggs at cars. And if you're one of these individuals that says, my child would never do that, I have a good kid, they would never do that. Okay, maybe not. Talk to them about it anyway. Remind your children that Samhain is a very blessed Sabbath. That it is a Sabbath where we should come together as family and feast and pay honor to those past. It is not a time to go out and wrap houses, destroy people's automobiles, turn trash cans upside down, and throw balls at windows in hopes to see whether or not you can break the window. That gets a little expensive. Most houses nowadays have security cameras. And I know the neighborhood that we live in here in North Texas, There have been already many property decorations that have been destroyed or stolen by little turd heads that have nothing else better to do. So people have started installing security cameras. And the interesting part of it is when you find your child's costume, and there may be 100 or so kids wearing the same costume in the same city, but parents are going to know what shoes their kids are wearing, how tall their kids are, their body language, and how they move, even though they have on a costume. So when these Halloween videos start hitting Facebook of kids running amok and destroying crap, let's hope that one of your children is not one of the ones on the video, because it is very expensive for the parent and it can be very daunting for the child, especially when the police come knocking at the door and the police are not hollering trick or treat. They are hollering, "This is Officer so and so from Police Department such and such. We would like to talk to you about your child." That's never a good thing. A reminder, if you will, as well, be sure that your children are getting sealed candies. There are nasty creatures out there that take advantage of Samhain, Halloween, to do harm to young children. Not cool. They inject things into apples. They hide razor blades into candies. They do really nasty things. Inject drugs into chocolates. So I recommend to you, parents, just take a moment when your kid comes in with their loot and they're all excited and they got bags upon bags of chocolate and goodies and candies and treats, and warn your children, don't eat them before you get home. Let's go through them together and see what you got. And what you want to do is go through them and look at them, look for needle punctures, tears, uh, destroyed packages, apples, fruits, oranges. Inspect them really close. Some people have been known to inject drugs and poisons into the stem so that you can't see it. It's up to you. I know that our daughter, we do not allow her to consume apples, oranges, bananas, fruits, anything like that. And then you've got these good people. The good people that want kids to snack on healthy food. So they give them apples and oranges and bananas and cherries and grapes and bunches of grapes and what have you. These are people that want kids to eat healthy. But unfortunately, most parents throw them in the trash because they don't know where they've come from. So for those of you parents that are going to have the bucket of goodies for the trick-or-treaters, research sealed goodies, fruit packs, fruit snacks, I think they're called. Research them for the kids. Healthy treats. Yeah. What else? Have fun on Halloween. Have fun on Samhain. But remember, the core of Samhain is to give thanks to the ancestors. It is to communicate with the dead. Give them a hug, blow them a kiss, light them a candle, wish them well on their way. Samhain, Halloween, is celebrated differently by different cultures throughout the world. It was originally developed by the Celts, which you can read on the internet. Halloween was later converted from Samhain to Halloween because they wanted to change yet another pagan Sabbath. Samhain is a Gaelic word, and you can look up the meaning of it. You want to learn how to speak Gaelic? There are many sites out there that will teach you. Gaelic is a very beautiful language. It's a sung language, and it is not easy to learn. I have been trying for 10 years to learn how to speak Gaelic. I could not tell you the first word in Gaelic. Well, Samhain, I guess I could. But I can't pronounce it the way the Celts did. So, but remember, respect the elders, both past and present. Respect other people's property when you're out trick-or-treating this Halloween. By all means, be safe. Listen, those of you younger people that might be listening or watching the pre-recorded broadcast, you may think I'm full of stuff because I'm just an old guy. But respect your parents. They're the only ones you got. Respect the dead. They've been there, seen it, done it, and moved on. Respect other people's property. One of the things that pagans are about more than anything else in the world is honor. Honor Mother Earth and Father Sky and your parents as well. I wish you a safe and happy Samhain. Safe and happy travels to you and yours. Have a great day. Once again, thank you for watching Open Pagan Church. We'll see you next Sunday right here, 9:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. Hope you set your alarms. We'll see you then.